Thank you, Tim. Obviously, can't imagine anybody has anything to talk to me about after I get done speaking, so we'll skip the question and answer part of this whole thing. But no, Tim, appreciate you, your leadership, and obviously great media days events here in Charlotte, and appreciate it. I was told that this is gathering of the more media members we've had in a long, long time, so appreciate you guys all coming out here today and these last couple days to support us in this great conference. You know, I don't want to lose sight. This is my 27th year coaching, okay? And this is my 10th at Memphis and my 6th as the head coach. And never want to lose sight. It's such an honor and a privilege to be able to come up here and stand up here and represent our great city, represent our great university, and our tremendous football program. So every year that goes by, I'm so grateful to be able to come back and be able to do this and to represent all those people that love our program and pour so much into this, our players and our staff alike. You know, talking about the off-season, as Tim alluded to, very fortunate to come off of an 11-win season where we beat 2 Power 4 programs, one in West Virginia in a bowl game, a Big 12 opponent, and then obviously down in Tallahassee versus Florida State, an ACC opponent. So those 2 wins marked by an 11-win season, which produced the first back-to-back 10-plus win season in 109 years of playing football at Memphis. So obviously we appreciate the past. And then moving to this off season, you know, the biggest thing was staff retention. Very, very fortunate in this day and age in college football to be able to maintain our coordinators. All 3 coordinators, our offensive coordinator, Tim Cramsley's been sought after by so many programs, has decided to stay loyal to Memphis and our program. Jordan Hankins did a tremendous job with the defense last year, stayed with us, and then Chris White and the special teams. And obviously we all 3 know that there's work to be approved upon, and I appreciate them sticking with Memphis for another year and hopefully for many years to come. And then into the offseason, right, we had the #1 ranked recruiting class once again in this conference, and that just shows that the future is very, very bright, not only going into 2025, but for many years to come, and the recruiting efforts and what we're doing, and that's just high school recruiting. Obviously, the transfer portal is another piece of the puzzle that we work diligently on and making sure we're adding the right fit for the University of Memphis in our program. And then looking into the spring, had the highest GPA in program history with a 3.4 GPA. Take a lot of pride in that. Academics is very important. Highest graduation rate in this conference, 3 of the last 4 years. Okay, so these are the things we hang our hats on, not just the wins, not just all the other wonderful things we've been able to do for our student athletes, but what they're achieving academically. And then you look at the stadium renovations, right? Obviously, they're well on their way. You guys have seen some of the renderings and some of the construction that's going on. It'll be ongoing throughout the season, but at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, we're going to see a whole new place in 2026. But those things are progressing quite nicely, along with many other things we have occurring within our football facilities and at the university, especially within athletics. So couldn't be more pleased with the momentum that continues to occur, all right, with the Memphis football program. Looking ahead to the season, obviously, let's start with the 2 young men so fortunate to have joined me. Let's start with William Whitlow. One of those tried and true guys we talked to, and I heard some of these other head coaches talk about their players. You know, William Whitlow is going to his 5th year at the University of Memphis. You know, last year the storyline was Seth Hennigan and a quarterback that stayed committed, the only 4-year starter in college football for such a long period of time. And William Whitlow had the opportunities to go to other places. In fact, he was offered significant financial offerings to go to other places and decided, you know what, I want to stay at Memphis. In fact, he will be openly to admit he tested the portal for 5 days and, you know, ultimately said, you know what, I want to be back at Memphis, where I'm loved, where it's family, where I trust the way we're going to work, where they're going to hold me accountable, and we have the opportunity to go win championships with people that ultimately matter to me the most. And tremendous all-conference defensive end that I expect is going to have a great season this year. Then Brendan Lewis, a quarterback. Everybody says, well, Ryan, you bought him here. That must be mean you're naming him the starting quarterback. That's not true. Brendan knows he's in a quarterback competition, just like every single position on our roster. But Brendan is a 35-game starter in college football. Ultimately has an extreme talent, and we know what he's capable of. And if he is a starter, so be it. It's our job to put him in the right position to have success. But we do have a quarterback competition, just like I said, we do at all positions. When you're only returning 3 starters, there's a lot of competition throughout. And even those starters, even a guy like William Whitlow, Chris Adams, and Malachi Braylon, the 3 starters, they know that nothing has been promised for them. But the guys are working their tail off. We couldn't be more excited about the schedule. We have a great home slate, and we know how tough this conference has become. and we're really, really excited about this 2025 season and many years to come.
Thanks, Coach. We'll take questions for Coach. Please raise your hand, and we'll get a microphone to you. We have one in each side. We'll start, who's closer? We got Davis over here, back row on the left, and then we'll go to league winners over on the right.
Brian Moss with Tiger Sports Report. Coach, you've been successful at Memphis, and I'm sure other schools have, sniffed your way. What keeps you at Memphis? Yeah,
it's a great question. It was great just listening. I sat in the back as John Summerall spoke about his success at Tulane. I love, not only do I love this football program and poured my heart and soul into this, but I love the city, right, and the university. And I think what happens is I tell our staff all the time, in college football, the constant changing of coaches moving and jumping around to different jobs is, I think this, like sometimes people say, oh, I've been here long enough, time for me to look elsewhere. Whereas I actually have an opposite feeling. Like I feel like the more I continue to pour into this program, the more hours, the more sweat equity, blood, sweat, and tears over and over and year after year, the more committed I am, the more invested I am into seeing this thing through. And so, it starts with the players, the people that come into our locker room. They're the ones that set the culture, Brian. We got great fans. And then the city of Memphis, it just means so much to me. It's a place I've been able to call home, and it's rare. Like how many coaches say, I've been somewhere for 10 years, especially at my age, and especially when there have been other people that have come calling. But we're in a great spot. We're going to continue to build. We talked about the stadium renovations. We're building brand new housing on the South Campus where the student athletes will be even closer to the athletic complexes. All those things. We got the future renderings and the money put down for academic football-only building right there. So there's all these things that are coming down the pipeline that I've been working on for many years. And I think you always owe it to the guys to pour your heart and soul no matter where you're at and be where your feet at. And we've got a great, great thing going. And it's an honor and a privilege to be at a place like that. And I don't take a single day for granted.
Okay, right side, third row, league winners. And then we have one, 2 rows back on the same side.
Brandon Poggers with the league winners. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. So, in light of, some of the news stories and rumors that have been, swirling a little bit, how are you ensuring that your team is keeping their head down and focusing, and then building on top of that? What has been the message that you are giving them heading into fall camp and heading into the regular season?
That's a great question. And I think so much of, there's always been outside distractions, whether it's in the last 24 hours, the last 48, things that occur. But I even go back to, some of our local reporters remember like the time during COVID. And then, they'd come back and they'd say, hey, did you see that this conference isn't playing football this year, or this game's been, and I think so much of it is just keeping the focus. And I talk to our team all the time about having the blinders on. It's not to be, completely oblivious to what occurs in the outside world and to have an understanding of things that are occurring, but to just truly focus on what matters and what we can control. And I'm so fortunate, the 18 to 23-year-olds that we get the chance to be with on a day-to-day basis and to serve have bought into that. They say, you know what, all these other things have no inclination on our success in the 2025 football season, so let's go full steam ahead. They're finishing up the workouts today. We'll give them a few days off, and then it's start of training camp. And then no different than moving into this year. Like we talk about the championship. Let's leave no stone unturned and understand that our number one goal and really our only goal is to win the conference championship. If other things come along with that, that's great. If it's beating a Power 4 team in Arkansas that's coming to our place, great. But the number one goal is to win the conference championship. And with that being said, once we get into the season, once we really get later in August, we don't even talk about that. It is truly, and this is not coach speak because anybody that's ever been around me understands, it is a one game at a time, one day at a time, then 1 week at a time, that one game. And that's all that matters, is how great can we be this week? Can we go 1-0? And our players, I think, appreciate that because, man, if just you want to talk about distractions, turn on a 19-year-old cell phone and see all the different things that are going on, all the different things, much to the demise of our local media. I actually I'm off social media during the season. That I give up, sugar. Those are 2 vices, and just focus on football, and it's been great for me. But our players usually follow suit with just the mindset of control what we can control, all hands on deck. It's already hard enough to win football games. Let's just focus on that.
Still on the right side in the back corner.
Jonah Dillon, Commercial Appeal. Ryan, I know we sort of addressed the conference realignment stuff earlier, but wanted to ask kind of in the context of the stuff you just mentioned, the stadium renovations, and then obviously we know about the bowl streak and the 10-win seasons. Were you surprised at all by the way that turned out earlier this week because of what the sort of pitch is and how different it is to maybe what it would have been a decade ago for Memphis and this football program?
Yeah, Jonah, I appreciate the question. I think what's been so great is, as you know, now being a Memphian, and the people of Memphis, the administration, our leadership, I give them a lot of credit, and I'm appreciative and proud of the fact that they were willing to swing and swing big. And that shows what we're all about. That's what Memphis is all about, the willingness to take chances and to bet on themselves. And I think I speak for the entire city, is like, that's what we're all about. And our athletic program is no different, our university is no different. So I'm proud of our leadership. Dr. Ed Scott, Dr. Hargrave, and the rest of the administrators have worked tirelessly to always put us in the best possible position. And I give them a lot of credit and kudos. And then ultimately, just to be within those conversations, you know, and the ability to be even take those chances and take those swings. That's credit to so many of those people that came before us, and the traditions of the program and the university. So I give those people a lot of credit. And ultimately, at the end of the day, we have a great relationship with the American Conference. And, you know, Tim's been great to us. And we talk about this, like this past year, due to the success of the football program, the basketball program, we actually received the largest revenue distribution of any team in this conference. And I think that relationship, the transparency that Tim alluded to earlier, has been great. And, you know, in this day and age, the conference realignment is something that's discussed day in and day out. You know, I got back to my room last night and someone had sent me a story on North Carolina, right? And so, and their possible conference realignment. That's the landscape of college football and college athletics altogether. But look, we're really, really excited about the 2025 football season. And again, like I said, I'm just so proud of the administration, the leadership that are continuing to try to do everything to put us best foot forward and continue to put us on display for all the success we've had in the past and hopefully the success in the future.
Final question will come from the right side, second row.
Tim Buckley with the Daily Memphian. Sticking with conference membership, what in your mind would it take for a Memphis to get into the CFP, and whatever that is, whether it's running the table or whatever, how confident are you that you can do it coming out of the American with the schedule that you have?
Yeah, Tim, good question. I truly believe that the American is the top non-P4 conference in college football. And I think you go in and look at the success that this conference has had versus some of those opponents, right? Let's just talk about ourselves like I did before. You know, the last 2 years, every P4 team we've played, we've had success against. And ultimately, this is a conference where it's really, really deep from top to bottom. So many good teams. You look at even just adding Army and what they were capable of doing immediately and what they've done on a national stage, but no different. The winner of this conference, without a doubt in my mind, should go to the CFP playoff, without a doubt in my mind. And obviously, our goal is to win the conference. And if that then opportunity leads us to being able to play in the playoffs, that should ultimately lead the way. And we've been able to build this thing the right way. Like I said, winning the championship's the #1 goal, and then the CFP should be icing on the cake with that opportunity. But without a doubt in my mind, the strength of this conference should lead us into the CFP.
Coach, that's all the time we have for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Go Tigers, go.
Up next is Temple.